Hi. So this morning I woke up nice and early, lovely stretch, and then realised that I am leaving the country in a month. What? Uno? Top game. Uno month? Oh my gosh. So anyway, yes, 1 month, and let's start that again. I'm gonna be leaving on a jet plane, don't know if I... Yes, I will be back. Oh my goodness. For all my family watching and friends, I will be back. No, I will. And yes, the lyrics are when I'll be back, not if. So I stuffed that up and let's move on. First things first, and I think we should get this out of the way before I get into the, the important stuff. I'm wearing a Coldplay shirt. Yes, indeed. Milo Xyloto. Best concert ever. Yeah. Son. Anyway, the most important thing and the most exciting thing that I have to tell you guys is that I applied for my visa. So I actually, I went there, it was great, and she said pick it up next week. Now they're Italians, so I hope it's going to be ready by Friday because it is Christmas coming up and Christmas ruins everything. So I need to go there on Friday, I think it's tomorrow, and just sort of ask them if it's done, I suppose. But funny thing about the consulate is that because they are Italians, you walk in and you're sort of, okay, where do I go? You can't really see the information desk as soon as you walk in. You see a TV and you see some forms, perhaps for already, for Italians living in Australia, if they need to fill out, I assume. They weren't in English, I don't think. And then there's the information desk behind a wall. Where else would you have an information desk that people need to make inquiries for? So anyway, I went up to the wall and it was so tempting to sort of switch into Italian mode and say, ciao, sono Jessica, piacere. Incorrect. Not the right thing to do. He meant business. So I went up to him and I said, hello, I have an appointment. My name is Jessica Maggio and I need to apply for my visa. And he's behind a glass wall as well. So he's behind some glass, like a barricade. I don't know. What is anyone going to do? I mean, it is the consulate, but anyway. Meanwhile, I was there at 9:25 because my appointment was at 9:52, and even though I had booked this appointment weeks in advance, I had some friends that had already been to the consulate that said that you could get there early and sometimes they could just, get you in and out as soon as you got there, because sometimes people miss their appointments or they're late. So as soon as they open, just go there. So that's what I did, hoping that they could finish me early. Why? Me of all people. Okay. So anyway, I said to him, I have an appointment. I had to hold up the piece of paper to this glass and he looks at it and he says, passport? And I said, no, visa. And he said, do you have a passport? I'm going to stop doing the accent because he wasn't Borat at all. But I said to him, oh, yes, I do have a passport. So he said, what type? And I said, the normal. Normal? What? Oh my gosh. I do have many concerns about myself, but so I said normal, thinking that that was what he wanted to hear. No, he obviously meant what country is your passport from, i.e. what is your citizenship, and I said to him, oh, Muscoos. I didn't say Muscoos, but I was thinking it, and I was like, oh, Australian passport. So, so that was fine, and he says, okay, I'm going to give you a ticket, sit down, and someone will call you. I could see the ticket system in the corner. I could see that, numbers were lighting up in red and you had to go to a specific booth, all of which were in the open. I could hear everybody's visa stories and everybody's, stories about, having to get numbers and stuff and bank account statements and things. I was like, this isn't very private. So anyway, I sat down, I stood there waiting for my number for him to give me my ticket, and he gets out this pen and paper and he writes 402 and then tears it with his hands and just slides it under the thing. And I picked it up and I was like, thank you. Mum was next to me and I was like, Ma, look at the ticket. And she was like, oh, good luck in Italy. I thought to myself, well, this is a surefire way of making me feel confident. So funny. So anyway, I sat down with the lady, everything was discussed. She asked me why I was going to study there. That was sorted and she said, you can pick it up next week. And I said, yay. And I almost told her the story about my photos because she said, I need your passport. I need your letter from your universities, both host and overseas. And then she said, and I need 2 passport photos. And I was like, oh, I've got that sorted. That's fine. And then I was like, funny story. But she didn't look like she wanted to talk or wanted to be amused. So I was like, funny story. I have them here. So I just gave them to her. But I have a copy here to show you guys because I showed you how bad the last ones were. So I want you to see the difference. I'm actually blaming the place that I went to because why would I blame myself for being ridiculously unappealing in this photo? So we have the original. That's the original. I look like a murderer, remember? I held that up for too long. And then I have the new photo. Can you see it? Why is it not focusing? Do I have to... Oh, whoa, what did I do? There we go. So we have the old and the new. Wow, that's all you're getting. Oh my God, it was so embarrassing. But they were so different. And the lighting, I don't look sick or like a murderer. So that was good. And that was obviously well worth getting a second photo done. Hashtag first world problems. So pathetic. Not even ashamed. Now, in order to get a visa, you have to give them your passport so that they can put the visa into your passport. But again, I don't travel very often. / I've traveled once to Papua New Guinea and it doesn't count. And this didn't happen. I think when I went to Papua New Guinea, I don't think I had, or maybe they did put it in my passport. I don't recall. But anyway, I got up and I said, thank you so much. And I said, I'm just going to need my passport back. So embarrassing. And she goes, oh no, we need this for the visa. And I was like, oh, can you tell I don't travel often? And I walked out. So gonna pick up my visa tomorrow. That's about all that I've had to do. Oh, I had the language test on Monday night as well. Now for Bologna, when you go to Bologna to study, you have to do a language test. I think you have to do it for other universities as well, but Bologna in particular, everybody raves about this language test. You have to do it in Sydney, and then when you get there, you do a course or something, and then you have to do an oral test before you're actually put into classes. So my Italian was so out of practice. I hadn't practiced Italian in a long time. I mean, since uni finished, so that's about a month and a bit. Yeah, so I was so nervous about this test. It had been weighing on my mind the entire time. So all us Bologna girls were really nervous about having to do this test because, number one, we didn't know what to expect. And you'd think that maybe someone would have said, this is what you have to do. But no, it wasn't. There was no one really sort of guiding us or whatever. But eventually we got an email from Bologna that said you have to sit it. It'll open Monday, the 16th of December at 12 p.m. Bologna time. So I figured out that it'd be 10 p.m. So I had to sit this test at 10 p.m. on Monday night. And all I wanted to do was go to sleep. So I was trying to revise a little bit on Monday, but there's no revision getting done. Revise what? So anyway, we did this test. We all freaked out. It was hard towards the end. And then we had to do a composition on ourselves, which is so easy. It's just basically describe yourself, talk about yourself, which is, sono, blah, blah, blah. I am brunette, or I have brown eyes, or I'm tall, or I'm short, or whatever. I couldn't think of anything. And I was like, sono what? Sono what? What am I? Somebody describe me. I couldn't, because you're timed when you're doing it. And there's just so much pressure put on you to fill out this thing. And basically, it was just, I think it was a huge waste of time because you could have, you used Google Translate if you needed to look up a word, or you could have used a dictionary, or anyone could have done anything. And, what's the point when you go there and you have to do an oral test and you I don't know. So anyway, we'll see what happens when I get there. I'll let you guys know how it goes. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the eventful week that I've had in prepping for Italia. I don't know if I'll post next week because it's Christmas. I might. But have a happy Christmas, everyone, and a happy New Year if I don't post one next week. And I'll talk to you all soon. Ciao.